and pray now for marketeers, sprinting runners, and younger boys to empower themselves. The money is there, but everything is long way back carrying the benefit of because we are close.
What did Paladino Yaga Koluba? You go for Yaka. Yes, from Benin. Because Yaka Koluba and the one that is talking to us. So you are telling to me Yaka Koluba because a budget. Oh, Yaka can be talking to the president. It's not a good thing. Yes. They're happy. Saying that you are not happy for you. When you are not going to betray Yaka Koluba. You understand? You have to get them out of there. You can't let you said the president is the most corrupt. Okay. All right, we're coming to anything you want to say for now before we leave you. Thank you so much.
Yes, we are best. You know, see, because someone else is going to say, "Okay, let's have one corner." They do our own day, and they tell the other police they can't walk through our corner advance. You can't watch it for it. Tell him to forget about your corner. Okay.
Hello.
Eric?
Yeah, man.
My son, you made mistake.
What's that?
I heard you last night. Me and Kun indeed to move Kupa. Absolutely, after the whole election. And in my corner, if you hear my preaching most Sunday, you will conclude that I'm right. Will you rescue as a nomenclature after winning? The broadcaster don't even answer my phone. They don't pick me up. They don't lay me down. They don't even have time. Oh. I don't talk. Yeah, I don't talk because God knows why it's happening. And everything I will accept it because our son Kun is vice president to him for NIMBA. The NIMBA people will not understand if I start hating on Breaker. The Senate started a trap for Breaker. When we are wrote, the Senate did a comprehensive report of their findings and attached the Supreme Court ruling, amnesty law, and everything. And the position statement for those commissioners who decided from Brady to where. And said the way forward is a Panama House discussion for peace. Then when Breaker come now, he is deceived by coming there, by the Dillon there, Nombi there, and he now where he's just thinking all kind of way Breaker, all kind of thing. He want to go after people. Then, you know, the CDC still control the lower house, the upper house. So they went talking away, talking of thing they did, but they did a resolution that passed because of money crossing.
Yeah.
Then they sent it to the Senate. Then something happened. Wow. Order they almost signed to Yombi house. Then they brought it that Tuesday morning. They didn't tell me they had it for me. Oh. Then when I heard what was happening, it was remain 2 persons to sign. That was me, that was Bani, Jim Bani. Now when I went to Kun, I said, what is going on? You were here when we had sent paper, and you were here with our own leadership, and we sent the report with all documents, legal documents, to guide where. Then Baka benefited from the 2010 decision by the Supreme Court to be involved in the election in 2011 because he was not wrong with Ellie.
You're right.
He benefited.
You're right.
Then after serving our brother for 12 years now, he's now president now. We finished campaign for that kind of old man, then he wants to persecute us. He not going to persecute us. So what is going on with Kun?
One more freedom
So, we agree. Bring it now. When Baka send a bill, they will not put all the numbers.
I called you best. Do you think I really believe that at 80 years old?
When they were coming, they said they were freedom fighters.
You know, when you are
When they were coming, they said they were liberators.
you're selling
But when
the
they
commodity
came
or
here,
a product. Your job is to embellish.
when they
The
came
fighting
here,
war against the police of both ranches. Did you think I knew?
what kind
Or
of
did you
people
think I
this is?
No.
What kind of people this is?
Spinning over
You freedom fighter, you raping our
with a kid. A man who cannot
freedom fighter, you killing our children.
No.
Freedom fighter, you destroying our country.
We set out.
And
we believe
man.
And I know we saw you and touted you about and projected you as though finances. 12 years as vice president, we have been begging for money all over the place, raising money to sustain you. What contracts did you establish as vice president?
When they were coming, they said they were liberators.
Campaign.
When they were coming, they said they were liberators.
This
But
function
when
of
they
juggernaut led by people who
When
were
they
born
came
into this
here,
life which we
they
did
came here,
yes.
what kind
The
of
life
people
out of
this
now. Suck the life out
What kind of people this
of not the wind out of
freedom
yourself.
fighter, you
We
raping
people in
our
yourself would never
You freedom fighter, you killing our
call us
children.
insignificant.
Freedom fighter, you destroying our country.
Show us in wickedness. Where are you? I'll fall in out with George Weah. The issues about which we disagree with us.
Music. When they were coming, they said they were freedom fighters. When they were coming, they said they were liberators. But when they killed their man, they changed their mind. When they killed their man, they changed their mind. What kind of people they so?
They are freedom fighters.
What kind of people they so?
They are freedom fighters.
You freedom fighter, you raping our women.
They are freedom fighters.
Freedom fighter, you killing our children.
They are freedom fighters.
Freedom fighter, you destroying our country.
They are freedom fighters.
Oh, yes, indeed. What a great day. What a wonderful and pleasant morning from the nation's capital in Monrovia. And indeed, a great opportunity it feels to be here, right here behind these microphones, and once more to engage on the issues that matter to Liberia's growth and development. Good morning, Liberia. Good morning, just wherever you are this morning on our voice. What a wonderful way. We'd like to welcome all of you to this Wednesday morning edition of the nation's premier breakfast platform, the Freedom Morning Rise on Freedom 87.9, where we discuss the issues that matter to Liberia's growth and development. It's always a good thing to be here. And of course, the freedom fighters, where are they? And somebody said, from criticism to, I don't know, a hub of unity or reconciliatory meetings. This is what that defines the PHP Park. So on yesterday evening, we started seeing photos and pictures and images of rescue junior officials, ministers, deputy ministers, chief of office staff, and just a host of young people aligned with the rescue government and serving in different junior level positions in the government. Of course, we're seeing in a exciting mood, laughing and of course celebrating and enjoying the ambience at the PHP Park, the Unity Park. Built by former President George Emmanuel Weah. These were the folks, these were the kids, we who that were all around this place here, condemning and criticizing that park. When we were here and telling you that these things were for Liberia, it was about Liberia, and everybody was going to enjoy it. Let's support our country. These guys deliberately became rebels against Liberia. But it is a good thing that today they themselves have gone back and they're enjoying the place. The place is open. All of them, I see them, Mo Ali, all of them can go PHP Park, Invincible Park. They're enjoying it. Hey, George Weah. That's what you call legacy. That even after you, posterity will come and they will benefit from it. That's your contribution to humanity. That's a contribution to your country and your people. George Weah, Timothy Weah, Claire Marie Weah, Tam Weah, they will not always be there. Every other day, these places are filled with Liberians. Look at the ones in West Point, Nikutan, Claratown. The Islamic communities use them during the Eid festival to perform Eid prayers. They're not George Weah benefiting. They're the community. But hey, you were so hateful. You people were so hateful. But anyway, folks, too many things to talk about. Lots of things right here on the menu this morning. This is the Freedom Morning Rise. At 9 o'clock, we have our own friend and brother, Wanto Tier Wanto. It's going to be our guest here to run over a host of critical issues happening in the country, particularly having the pedigree of Wanto is important since the closure of the 2025 fiscal year and, of course, governance period. To have a close look at the entire 2025, and of course, as we have entered 2026, we're also going to be spending time on the government's $1.2 million 2026 budget. What does it look like? What can the ordinary people, what should be the state or the mood of the ordinary people as all of this 1.2? So Wanto will be going deep into these things and, of course, bringing it out. Who's to benefit the most from the 1.2 billion budget 2026? We're already in the year, right? The SONA is coming up in about 2 Mondays from now, right? The SONA 2026 SONA. What impressive have happened? What should we expect? What does want to think about this 2026 SONA? Will it be, of course, something that will rekindle the hope of Liberians going forward? Would there be something to rely on as we push ahead? Mr. Boakai will be there, and of course, other issues pertinent. that's going on in the country, the port autonomy bill that you've been hearing about, folks have been having conversation about. We'll pick Wanto's opinion about that, his insight on it as well. And of course, a deeper look at the opposition, the political opposition in the country, the CDC to be particular, plus other issues making news in Liberia. And in the meantime, before Wanto join us, of course, this morning, Hagar and I will look over a host of other issues that have happened in the country. To begin with, yesterday we started digging into Philibert Brown's so-called investigative report on the FOIA project, and we believe it is so. That is a damning disrespect to the integrity of the Liberian people by somebody who many have viewed as a veteran. I am not sure if he is a veteran. These are hustlers, and somebody should quote me and tell him that I have said that he is a hustler, careless about what he thinks. But we're gonna go deep into it and open the phone lines for Liberians to speak their minds on this Philibert Brown man, and we'll go a little bit back into history and see and throw light on some of the workings, of Philibert Brown, and then juxtapose all of that and present you an opportunity to make an opinion on or have an idea on who the personality is. The new Liberia will have to filter going forward. We'll have to filter and get all the bad apples, irrespective of their name and whatever so-called personality that they carry around here. We will basically, what we are going to do, we're going to name and shame them. So the new Liberia will be cleansed of these eroded characters, and then we'll have very decent people having constructive conversations about the way forward for our country. Not people who will be acting to just take money and build empires for themselves. Like Philibert Brown, he has built an international school. Nobody know where he got the money from. His pa did not leave any fortune with him that he has been managing. He's just been passing around here and all of that. And nobody know any kind of legit, industry or kind of investment or something that is into that will bring money. But anyway, we'll go deep into Philibert Brown nonsense. He called investigative report plus other issues. Yesterday, we saw on the internet this very disturbing video of some officers of the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency physically assaulting a drug suspect, right? A victim of drug culture in Liberia, when the government actually is supposed to be rehabilitating these people, is supposed to be taking them in. Government agents are rather assaulting them. These are the very things that are captured in human rights report, in other international and of course independent civil society organization report about Liberia. On yesterday, I also saw human rights defender Tatos Pakala posted that there's over 3,000 domestic violence abuse cases recorded since Bouaka became president. In two years, over 3,000 Liberian women and girls have been abused without justice under the watch of Joseph Newman Bouaka. This is terribly disturbing. And of course, it presents a picture of, a gangster republic. And I don't know, we're going to keep talking about this and other issues that make news in Liberia and elsewhere. My name is Abu, and of course, Hagar is here. Hagar, good morning.
Good morning, Abu. Good morning to you, and good morning to the peace and loving people of our great republic. It's good to be right back here behind this microphone, like you will always see, to engage with the issues that matter most to our country's growth and development. So we are here unshaken, unbothered, unthreatened. We are here to continue the job of the Liberian people, and it's always good as we move forward towards the middle part of this year. In fact, just from now, the show promises to be interesting because we've engaged with several former officials of government and Liberians who are willing to use this medium to express their concerns, whatever case it is. And also, we are extending similar olive branch to our brothers from the regime. It is so unfortunate, Abu, that once you
It's
are
open to
appointed,
everybody. They
once
can.
you are appointed under the rescued mission, you automatically break ties with people who you perceive as not being in your interest or critical voices. So we know many of our brothers who, since they got appointed, they've break every relationship, every task, and whatever with people from the people they perceive to be critical voices against the regime. But this is an open invitation to all of you folks within the government and even supporters of the government. You can make use of the platform. You can come here, you sit here, share the ideas. Let's have an open dialogue and debate on national issues so that when you leave from here, what we will say, or what when you are here, what we see, the public can judge between what you will say and what we too will see and know who is fooling who because the reality is already here. But too many things to talk about. Listen to
The guys are look, hey guy, you know the secret, right? Rescue people afraid of they can't stand
the reality. That's why.
they cannot stand our scrutiny, and
That's
it doesn't
why
matter from the president down. I mean, bro, all of them, these people cannot, and that's all you see. Oh, we won't go into Freedom FM. Why you not coming to Freedom FM? That human being here, but you're scared because you know we are on top of our issues, and you're supporting and say, "Oh, Freedom FM, man, again." So we say your BB bosses or your trust or where Ivy League University, you're telling them they can't sit down here. Let's talk the issue, and then we'll see, right? If they say the man, they got balls, let them come. Behind the scene, we've sent them invitation, they will be denied, but we're not backing them. But for those of you thinking that, oh no, we don't know, we always, but they're refusing to come, they're scared because when they start to come here, they will get dangerously exposed because they cannot withstand the scrutiny. And they imagine public work minister come and sit down here and say all of what he can be saying to other places with everything we got, to pull hole inside. And basically, that's all we're going to be doing, asking the question and putting you against your own record. So they're afraid. They say, oh, you go Freedom FM, the bottom will expose you. So let Ale put them on blacklist. So our people, let's do party things. So but anyway, we are here. The Liberian people are the people we are most concerned about once they're following and they're listening. So that's our interest. The woke regime, they can go ahead. We're not begging them. Look, nobody's begging anybody from the government to come and sit on that platform. We don't know. You are no value to us, nor our platform. No minister. Look at the people that said the main minister. That son human being. Look at criminals and people who could not even feed themselves were begging for rest, begging for food from other people, begging for horse rent. Look at a Mo Ali. So what dignity it adds to Freedom Money Rise? A Mo Ali sit down here. Rather, we will be adding dignity to him. Right? It's just the office. Besides that, Mo Ali is nothing. These people don't have personality. They don't have anything. So that's why we are not even bothered. Right? So sometimes when we reach out and say, oh, come on the show, it's because you are a duty bearer and you owe it to speak to the Liberian people. So since you're so irresponsible and you don't recognize these things, we reach out to you and you'll be playing hanging ping. We look at the other Bonsue, good for nothing, irresponsible people that think can put them in public office. Yeah, I think begging you. But man, that's a different thing. Yeah.
So also there is this latest video from a former warlord, Botneke, questioning other Liberians who, from my own understanding and if I glaring fights, have a better public record, a better integrity than him. So we hope to dive into that. And like you said, Philip Bear Brown, his write out, his justification regarding the 4 years project is important for us to still touch around it because not many of our audience had the opportunity the last time we spoke about this to make their input. So it's important to give them the opportunity here. So this is the court of public opinion. We bring the issues out and the public be the judge And that's what we're going to do here this morning. But too many things to talk about. I'm sure you just don't want to miss it this morning.
That's correct. 58 minutes on the downside of 7 o'clock, 2 minutes to 8. And so we are here, right? Today is Wednesday, star 255, star 1 hash, right? It's the code to win yourself some money. And of course, look, folks, when we come here, we tell you star 255, star 1 hash. You already have the code, right? Play and win. They're not gonna be begging you to win money. As if to say when you win those monies, you share with anybody. It's all for your own good. So just take your phone, and for those of you that get issues to settle, and you instead of begging people, just take the phone. You pull someone at 200 on the phone or 300 on the phone, and then you can hustle for 7,500 or 10,000 or 15,000, right, Higa?
Mhm.
And that's all you have to do.
15,000.
You come, and just let you go in regular to go, hustle. So you come, you post on 300 or 500 on the phone at star 255 star 1 hash, $100 per play, right? Or 50 cents US dollars. The more you play, the better the chances are to win. So when you put 500, that's 5 plays, right? At different intervals, that 5 play could earn you the chance to win, or even 1 play, right? But it depends because everybody's gonna be up for it, and then when the draw comes
more you
in,
play, that's the more
exactly.
opportunity to
So
win.
most
it's
times,
important.
most times we'll tell you that the show us way to be guaranteed is to play frequently or mostly, so that at whatever once the draw is done, so that your number will get pop and all of that. So, but I wish all of you the best in this new year, so that everybody will be a winner, and of course together we keep holding the feet of this reckless regime to the fire. And look, we are telling you, we are getting this report that look, 2026 is going to be terrible. Job, and job, and job. So yesterday, some members of some Liberian entrepreneurs, business people, have threatened that they are going to protest, and simply because things are not fun for Liberian businesses, and the government is doing very little, right? The government is doing very little to addressing that, and so they have said that they will be protesting from the legislature to other key government functionaries, and for them to prioritize, Liberian businesses and all of that. But then the head of Patel, Dominic Nimlin, has a different view. He called a press conference yesterday, lambasting and blasting at them,
The business people.
and distancing himself from them, and saying that they are not, legitimate, all of that. But the group may not be legitimate, but they're concerned. But anyway, I intend to speak to Dominic. It's important when people are leader, you get in the opportunity, right? And even as members, if you're feeling disenchanted, you go to leadership meeting. You gotta convince the leader to buy into whatever you want to do. But this culture of people always leaving leadership and running to go do things. So I meant Dominic will be here tomorrow, and of course I'm going to do my best to see. So he got the government say all the road and what they were talking say they not build. They say the massive road construction work. Say the reason you're seeing no road work going on in the country, say that climate change. Hey, God. They let in what happened in the country, what they feed it in January, small rain falling. They lazy lala government now find something to hang on. They say climate change bene, so all your road work.
But about these are the very people who never wanted Liberians to use the coronavirus as an they needed to have done.
Correct.
So they are today using a natural occurrence. They are today using natural occurrence as valid excuses for not working in the interest of the people. So the United Party people doing the CDC administration never thought that coronavirus was a valid reason for the government to not do some things, especially when the world came to a standstill. They never thought coronavirus was an excuse or should be used as an excuse. But today, rain that we all know about, even during the dry season in previous years, rain have always had
in Ghana,
take.
In Ghana, in spite of the
climate,
they both doing road.
In Morocco, as we speak, while the African Cup of Nations is ongoing, rain is falling, but Morocco is undertaking several other development projects, including the construction of a stadium that will be the biggest in the world.
But right in Liberia, in Foya,
the marshal is ongoing. But when it comes to the issue of road,
for the poor people,
then they say that rain. But the rain falling, even in Foya, the presidential villas is ongoing. That one can be, the road can be used. Let's say the rain cannot be used as an excuse to pause that work. But the project is ongoing. And Abu, just quickly on that thing, you listen to the president when he spoke last year. And he said he had always wanted, and in fact, he still wants, after all of these work and all of what he has done in government, you want to retire and go back in Foya. You listen to that. So that thing, that villa was the president area that was already earmarked to be built, so that after everything, the president will retire and go live there. But because of the way the public brought it out, continue to investigate and start digging deeper, the owner could use the MRU as an excuse. So that thing was a misdirection, because what the actual intent of that project has been is, after everything, the president Boubacar now in his private life will use Foya, will use that villas as his home. But now they say, thank God it has been made clear that the president,
thank God we get more beginning around the time. But guess what? Let's go back. And folks, don't want to talk about the climate change thing small and then we'll move. Even in 2026, now your rule, what is it? Oh, the government, your who the multi-banks been passing the comment, the government bidding rule. Then ask you what the rule say you can see. What you call you can see? You say government not pay rule. They say where is the rule? Then you say you can see. So where now? Anyway, so the government says this. The government of Liberia is facing mounting public scrutiny following a noticeable slowdown in road construction projects across the country, a delay authorities now attribute to climate change and heavy rainfall. Where is the heavy rainfall, folks? Right? But before the close of the 2025 dry season, right? Before the dry season ended, the rainy season, sorry, the government, through the Ministry of Information, announced what it termed a temporary auto pause on major road works nationwide. So they have said that, right? So at that time, officials assured the public that construction will resume promptly and progress steadily once conditions improve. Since they announced the auto pause of road works, nearly 4 months later, road projects across several counties remain sluggish, with little visible improvement. Providing an update on the first 2 years of the United Party-led administration, Information Minister Jeremy Pia blamed persistent rainfall for the slow pace of road connectivity works. According to the minister, unfavorable weather conditions have significantly disrupted construction activities, blah, blah, blah. Speaking at a Ministry of Information press briefing, listen to the background. The only reason Pia went and put out this, and you can follow this story on Insights Liberia, right? So Pia, speaking at the ministry yesterday, said, and referenced his recent visit to Grand Bassa County, where he said heavy downpour hampered ongoing road work. So Pia was on his way to Grand Bassa, he got stuck. The main car he's in the mud. So it took him more than the time. So when he came back, he was vexed. So the man was vexed now. But then he had to go spin it around. He said, "Boy, look at if this is happening in Grand Bassa, it happening in other places."
He could not criticize Abu. He could not publicly criticize because this is his own government. So what he could do now is to look for.
So you chunk it on God.
So in chunky on go in chunky
Because
on the
natural,
ring.
yeah.
So this is a clear message that the rescue mission through the Ministry of Information is sending out. That in the 6 year or under the 6 years of this administration, there will be no major work because we'll always experience rain. Because mind you, now we are in January, February, March, April. We expect to start another rainy season. So if the government cannot do anything, even when the rain is not as serious as it can normally be during the rainy season, and the government is using the rain as an excuse, imagine what is going to happen between now to April. So when you kickstart another rainy season, the government is going to be telling you that this is a major rainy season and nothing can be done. So we are always going to experience this, and the government is always going to use the rain as an excuse for not implementing national development projects. But meanwhile,
because this is dry season that they're supposed to be doing road work.
And the rain are falling now, Abu, is not as serious as it can be during the rainy season.
No.
Rain will fall after 2-3 days, rain fall one time. Sometimes when you fall 1 hour in a day, you will not find it again until maybe the next day, another hour. So, but the government is using this now as an excuse to tell us that this is the main reason why road works across the country are not ongoing. So imagine, despite the rain that is still falling, Jeremy Pia and other government officials are still undertaking their personal project or projects across this country. And the president, like we said, is still undertaking the villas or the construction of the villas in Foya.
Okay, correct.
But in the midst of all of these things, when it comes to the issue that borders on the interest of the common people, no, at that point now the rain serious, yeah. That the rain make it today, your Wakanda Park that was supposed to be Marshall, did not.
Climate change. Climate change now enter labor development.
Oh my God.
What? People.
Jesus.
Boakai. Oh man, Boakai. Sometimes I'm just wondering, when these folks were all over the place, chastising, calling other people names for this old man, what was the reliance? Look at how his testimony performing. Look at the country. The country is going down. Even decent people who are associated with the government are so ashamed and they're so embarrassed. They actually thought that this old man, has some sort of understanding of governance and leadership.
I know many of them in the government that behind the scene, when you speak to them, they will tell you the reality. But when they go out there, it is difficult for them to see out because they are afraid that yes, they will lose their job. So
that's correct.
You just can't take these people serious. Abu, what is happening now is governance, and so people who are in the government have to maintain. They have to maintain what they are getting. So you will not find them speaking out. But trust me, between now to the ending of this year and the early part of next year, you will see people resigning, people making revelations. So we still got more time to go, and let's just continue to give the people the opportunity as they continue to find survival.
Okay, so let's take word from Crime Stopper Liberia, and then we have our first video lineup. I sent it to you, right?
Yeah.
Said as soon as we come, we go straight into that right here to begin the conversation. This break, Crime Stopper Liberia. We'll be right back.
It's about musical. There are crimes in many places, in every community, you can see. So if you see crime, report it. Don't take law in your hand for the right authority. That it can't take care of it. Crime Stopper here for us, bringing safety to your door. Whether you rich or you poor, if you see you must talk and I mean you cheche. Do it for your safety. If you see it, don't keep it. You must call to report it. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, from the center to interior. Crime Stopper, keeping us safe, they're stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia, From the center to interior, Crime Stopper. Keeping us safe, let's stopping crimes for all of us.
Crime Stopper Liberia is your community crime fighting partner. Don't take the law into your own hands. Remember, if you see a crime, report it. This is a message from your own self, Old Man Sam Cyan.
Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia. From the center to interior, Crime Stopper. Keeping us safe, let's stopping crimes for all of us. Crime Stopper, the people bringing safety to your door. Crime Stopper, stopping crime and making peace for them before. Crime Stopper Liberia. From the center to interior, Crime Stopper. Keeping us safe, let's stopping crimes for all of us.
Okay, so those of you who like to steal other people, man, where we are now is getting difficult. Don't be stealing your friend and man, because we saw some kind of story, some kind of news we saw. They say one other woman now sue her friend for stealing her man, and the lawsuit that not small money,
3 million.
right? Say woman sues for US 3.5 million over alleged interference in marriage. You be proud, you say, oh, your side chick, you be stealing your friend and man. Lawsuit be in that inside. And that's small money. You be stealing your friend and man, enter your friend and marriage, you be disturbing it. You're so irresponsible. You can't sit down by yourself. You're being your friend and man. So the Married Women Association, Cecilia Paul Kun has done something. And when I saw this, I like, are you kidding me? So side chick then are looking for $50 and $75. That $3.5 million lawsuit, baby. Because I president.
Oh, yeah.
Has filed a lawsuit at the Civil Law Court for the 6th Judicial Circuit, seeking US 3.5 million in damages against Magdalena Cooper for alleged interference in her marital relationship. This is Bwaka's political advisor. And she's not going to court for any sound thing, but for somebody man being it. Eh? If you in the community, just imagine the political advisor to the president of the Republic of Liberia is being dragged to court for stealing your friend man. God damn it. But anyway, let's move on to something else. So we told you about this LDA video that was so disturbing, right? Where two officers of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency were seen physically assaulting a Liberian lady who is a victim of drugs and all of that. And universally, that is not the standard approach to drug addicts. That's not how, that's not the SOP in dealing with drug addicts and all of that. But unfortunately, since Bwaka became president, everything has turned gangster and, are done in hooligan faction or manner. And this is what you see: despicable and, of course, uncivilized dispensation of the rule of law, if you may, and law enforcement, so to speak. We are seeing regularly police officers are beating on citizens. They've stopped being protectors of the people. Rather, they've become like malicious. And we were here during the Charles Taylor War, at 2003 war. We used to see these malicious boys will be beating people up, and they will be kicking people's stomach, pregnant women, and all of those things. And we are seeing these things commonly done currently under Gregory Cuomo and other elements of the joint security. So the LDA responded. We saw a report. The LDA Higa saw dismissed, right?
Yeah, that's what they said. They disrobed.
They disrobed them. They dismissed the two officers. I think NIJEC, right? Right in the investigation and due process. That's not what the law says. In Liberia, the law presume individual innocence until proven guilty. That allows a room for due process. So it doesn't matter what you have to accord the person due process. We condemn the violence, but yet still we have to accord the officers due process. So, but this is what Gregory Cuomo has done. Gregory Cuomo, in an attempt for publicity stunt, who always throw officers under the bus. So other agencies are copying suit. But mind you now, the very DEA boss that disrobed these people for violent conduct is being accused by his aide camp, of violently assaulting him. It's on the media. It's on the social media. Have you not seen that? This is selective, justice. But that's how the government is running. You, the DEA, ORC, you think you get right to be assaulting your special aid?
And Abu, in fact, that whole DEA place, you can remember the last time when the second group of people were there. What all happened, that we were in control of all of what happened over there. And there is another developing story from that very DEA.
But I got one too.
Yes, there is a very serious developing story from that DEA. And it is bordering on divisive administrative procedure.
Okay.
So the guys there are doing things are running administration in a divisive way, where people are being arbitrarily removed from their position because they feel you are from a particular country and whatever it is. All of the evidence are with us. And trust me, you already know the last time it happened, you know how we started. That DEA is coming again under the spotlight. And I just second bring yourself. We get something and we're looking at all these things we say in here. We got the fights, but we're waiting for the real time. And you trust us. You, the ORC over there, you already been accused of assaulting people assigned to you. So your people who working with you now, they themselves following the sinful step.
Then you go
and then now you bring in tribal politics and bringing in all kind of things that are not supposed to be in the cycle of DA. But we'll speak about these things. I just gave a few changes. And then starting your way. And we can go ahead.
Okay, so beyond that, from the DA, there are reports that we're working on between the Sierra Leone, Guinea, Liberia route. This route right here, the Waterside border, and we beyond yo, and they say the fighting jobs. Since the last time they did that Dunga Flat Bay, they didn't even open it for the people to see it, and we know who then were responsible for that Dunga Flat Bay drugs. Folks, we are getting this report, and you tell DEA people were working on it. The point we are now, you can disrupt it, right? There are allegations that we are working on that elements of the LDEA are in the habit of collecting $500 each from each of these Guinea, Sierra Leone bosses that can come through the border to Liberia. So the reason why they collect those monies, because normally when these people come, they're supposed to, they're supposed to put all the load down and search the car and make sure that there is no drugs. So elements of the LDEA have designed this scheme, and what the drivers will do, right? As soon as the drivers come, they will pay the $500 and there will be no search. There are people living around Bowaters out there, and you can bear me witness, even the drivers. But guess what? The drivers have started complaining. They said this is unbearable. $500 each trip, right?
So for those who are in the habit of bringing in illegal substances, Abu, they are comfortable with that.
They're comfortable,
but people who got their normal passengers, they too are being compared to pay. So they are having issues with what the DA is doing there. In fact, the entire security setup there is doing. So, but we will continue to talk about these things. It's a developing story, and trust us, as time goes by, we'll continue to talk about it. And as we have latest information or update, we'll continue to speak about this.
Eh?
we can
You know, God get patient. 23 minutes down, so we'll cover this, and of course the Philip Brown. These are our two issues on this segment, and then we'll take our guest at 9 o'clock. This is the Freedom Morning Rise on Freedom 87.9. My name is Abu, and of course you guys here together. We're driving you. The cash giveaway is also active on *255*1#. *255*1# is the code, and you play. And the only reason why we're playing this this video of this guy is to basically set the record straight and say a few things. Do you have it?
Yeah, got it.
Okay.
So you just want to get us? Okay.
Are you people not caught? Is it not the definition? Prefer your brother who than your blood brother? You prefer your brother who at the detriment of your blood brothers? You're touching. You're touching. You're touching. I think when the other person wake up, EFCC calls somebody to get answer to some papers and document and thing. The person go for meeting, they die there. The other one is say they want die there. The other one die there. You're touching. You're touching. EFCC. Like EFCC said. Audit. Bureau of Audit invited somebody to give clarity on how, when they were working, the period they were working in. As soon as they called them, 2 days later, the person died with poison. The fully thing there. I even blame yourself. I blame you. Don't loot that corrupt money in your hand. You're passing up and down here with it freely. And the reason why you're frisky like this. Stolen money, drugs money in your hands. And nobody doing anything about it. Nobody doing anything about it. Free money there. If you're not borrow in the country, you bring crime on, you bring the charges on her. She out of the country, you don't have the sense to say, let her come back. Before I release the charge on her. She crossed the country, everything before you can bring charge on her, she can't come back. Those money she get, you know what money is? You know what money is? Though dark money in the hands of those people, you're making them passing free. That's what they first came for. That's what they first came for. How much can you father work for in the 6th year?
Okay. So
even if you were making 5,000,
I sent you another video. So this is Meton Blai Botnike. During the wartime, the Hades, that's how he used to be called, General Botnike. So this man is a notorious killer, a participant in Liberia's war era, with despicable war crimes hanging over his head. So he took to social media in reaction to the ongoing political war of wars between Senator Zoe Emmanuel Peno and other elements of the CDC, the opposition CDC. So in his mind, he thinks and feels that these people stand no ground to be talking now, and that they should be arrested, they should be in jail and all of that. And then we're like, but if a notorious killer can talk now, what about people who were just accused merely, and up to now, nobody has adduced any substantive prima facie to hold these people? Liberians, this is time, particularly the political opposition, to get out of your shell and come out and talk. If this notorious killer, this man who's on record, we're going to play a video where he's begging for killing somebody, man or husband or pa, right? Eating human being heart, intestine, right? This one, today can think because Baga is president, so he wears the authority to be challenging other citizens and saying they don't have a stake, they can't be talking. And he's still threatening people life. People having civilized political war of wars. The killer may not get there. Saying he used to killing that water. Y'all try it. Y'all try it. Think that war time, yeah, but play that here. Other stuff there, like when people, yeah, they imagine.
Didn't mean to kill your brother. You know
Listen to the man first.
that's war. I'm sorry.
This is the
sorry,
symptom.
man.
And the man I was just yelling now. Yeah, butt naked.
Didn't mean to kill your brother. You know that's war.
Hmm?
I'm sorry.
Butt
I'm
naked
sorry,
kill.
man. I beg you. Forgive me.
And he's
No,
talking.
no, don't
But
just
it's
go
people
like
who
that.
are
I beg you.
accused of corruption that have not been proven. They not get right to talk in the country. He
I
bad.
killed your
Why they
brother
talking?
out
But
of
he killed.
madness. But please, I will be able to play the brother for you. I'm not be
Play
able
the
to do
guy,
everything
brother.
that your brother can do. But I will stand there whenever you need a brotherly counsel. Whenever you need a brotherly protection, try to call on me.
You see
beg
the
you,
battle we
please.
see in the country? Mass murderer.
It's the toughest movement in my life to see somebody who had hurt in the past. She's still crying.
Who really supposed to be
I
beyond
killed
bars?
her brother. Where she gone? I shot him
Listen to
and,
me.
you know, chop him dead. Now,
Machetes.
when she reminded me, I felt so evil.
The victims of your mayhems are still in Liberia. They're silent. And you wear
I
the
killed their brothers,
audacity.
killed their sisters,
You passing
raped
around
them,
like some kind
crippled
of
them.
moral voice. What
They are
kind of
right
country
not to
are we?
forgive me.
Mass murderers, killers are the ones who are leading civilized conversation in our country, and we
Thousands of
think we are
people
a
that can
serious
stand out here
republic.
now to say, this is what he did to me, this is what he did to my brother.
This clown, this
I'm
idiot,
guilty. I'm
talk about
100%
Fina
guilty
Bono
for
then.
all things I
Eh?
did.
They get there, they get that. You drug addict, a notorious drug addict. You took drugs and mean people and ate their heart. And you can't question a decent young lady
This one was one of my fighters.
only because she was kind and generous
One of my boys.
and was there for the
I wish I
ordinary
can take it
people.
from here now.
And they saw her
Everybody
as,
reject them because they fought.
and you know, and he ran
These guys
because
did
of
not
our
fight by themselves.
selflessness,
They were forced to fight.
out of envy,
Like this one,
a
I
wicked
forced
killer,
him to
mass
fight.
murderer,
This one,
drug addict.
I forced him to fight. Most of them here, I forced them
Listen to
to
you.
fight.
You recruited child soldiers, people, babies. You gave them gun. You forced them and gave them gun to fight. Disrupted their lives. Some of them are Zogos today. Some of them are disabled. Some of them are amputees. You are on tape. You forced them to fight. You gave them gun. You gave them drug. And you come here to call other people, say, oh, drug addict. You fit the bill. Rescue. Look at one rescue spokesman. A mass murderer, a rapist, a human heart eater, a drug addict, an unrepentant killer. Where's the audacity to open his stinking mouth and be talking to decent people and having to put his mouth in civilized conversation about the forward march of Liberia when he only saw Liberia forward march in killing? Who is supposed to be beyond bars? Who is supposed to be beyond bars? Hundreds of Liberian children's future were disrupted because of this evil. Somebody think, oh, put pie around, oh, and I repent. That's it, that God say it. I repent there. This man who uses his political, his wartime repetition to threaten civilized people, people are afraid of him because they know what he did. People saw it. He's on tape, he's on video. And this man, Bouaka pays this man to threaten political opposition and intimidate them. He enjoyed the protection of the government, the NSA. They pay this man to be going after people. And he can't talk about Fina. Then you're supposed to be talking when you're supposed to be beyond bar. Have you accounted for the atrocities, the killing? You can't argue that you were a child soldier when you're on tape saying that you recruited child soldier. How can child soldier recruit child soldier? He got these are the
Abu,
fundamental
this is-
problem with Liberia.
This is a man who is also on record admitting that he joined society just to fight war. You listen to the butt naked confession. But Abu, let me say this to you. This is one of those individuals hiding behind the Holy Scripture. And this butt naked guy, Abu, as we speak, butt naked also is dealing with drug addicts in his place. You remember what happened in Grand Judah when Yeke Koluba went there? You saw the amount of human beings, the amount of young men that butt naked brought in the street, people who are working under him. These are individuals who are with butt naked, and he's using them to accomplish his clandestine aim and missions. But all these things, this is one reason why whenever there is a conversation around butt naked, family members will be calling and texting you, telling you to be careful, because this man is still involved into arbitrary killing of individuals. But this time, because he feels he's doing it undercover, so he can hide behind the Bible. This man still got a gang group that is running, Abu. Butt naked is running a gang group. This is a man who is on record of killing Liberians. He admitted that he took drugs, raped women in this country, killed men and women in this country, big pregnant women in fact, children, he killed them. Today, there is nothing like him being he facing investigation.
They
So
want to, I see
a
that
man
man sharing
who,
the
a man who is
imagine.
who himself is a witness to his own crime, fighting to see that people who are only being accused, fighting to express anger on why these people are not behind bar. When you yourself butt naked, you should be behind bar, because for you are a living testimony to your own crimes you committed. You are on record for admitting that you killed people in this country. But today, because of the gullibility of our society and the irresponsible attitude of this government, and they are unable to bring people like you to book to answer question to what you have done to our country, today you got a guts to sit and be threatening the peace of our country. This guy is always involved in threatening our country's peace, and he only feels comfortable because the government is even supporting him to do what he's doing.
The NSA
This man is
money.
taking over $4,000 from NSA, from taxpayer money. That's one reason why the NSA budget had to increase, because over the next year, the next 12 months, butt naked is supposed to be taking money from the NSA. Butt naked has been facilitated, and the NSA call him agent.
You kill other people, man. You kill other people, pa. Other people, brothers and sisters. You kill them. The victims of your mayhems are still here living in grief and agony. There's been no restoration. And they watch you on television as is some kind of opinion leader, and the pain it comes with to see the murderer of your father rubbing shoulder with the powerful and the elite in government. Black eye, what you're doing to this country is terrible. You give a seat on the table to butt naked, to continuously intimidate people and pay him handsomely taxpayers' money that victims of his mayhem, people who mind and power he killed, ate their heart, take up pregnant women, babies from their stomachs, and boiled them and ate them. These were the things they were doing during the war. And this guy was a general. Who were those eating the human babies? Were the generals. We tend to want to forget about these things and ignore these things. But when we see these people in Sierra Leone, you don't see it. How dare you, as a mass murderer in Sierra Leone, you open your mouth to say you come and talk about issues in the country? You are living your life pleading forgiveness. And you come here to come talk about Wafina Bondo, not in jail. Let's compare the crimes. Right? Let's compare the crimes. Yours is felonious. Yours is treasonous. That rebellion you participated in was against the state. That treason. Right? You organize yourself against the state, against the government. That's treason. Go and read. You did that. You committed felony. You killed people. And you come here and be talking about misdemeanor things that are not even proven. Allegations that have not even been proven. Some mostly political propaganda used to deceive irredeemable idiots like yourself. But anyway, this is the country that we have, unfortunately. People can make hero out of eroded characters. But that is that for that, folks. We'll open the phone lines. LeBron will talk more, and there are other people there who know the name. We can have our serial conversation about these killers. You come, other people are serving sentence, and you come here be talking about what place you supposed to be. They your thing you can do in the country. They your God thing. LeBron, you gotta wake up. The way you're doing God business, that's not how God business is. God business is justice, is fairness, is sincerity, is honesty. But when come and use the Bible and be passing around, then you're just, oh yeah, the man, and tell us that God business, you're making fun of yourself, people taking advantage out of you. The man will go rape your child, and you can't sit down and be preaching, and then you say, oh yeah, and you know, the man that what God told you. Anyway, you want to put the Philip Brown article up for those of the folks who did not find it, and then we'll go to the phone lines quickly at 9 o'clock. Let's use the next 10 minutes and open the phone lines.
Just quickly.
Okay, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, so fellow Liberians, that is that for you, right? It tells you exactly why, you know, there's a lot that needs to be set straight in Liberia. There's a whole lot that needs to be set straight in Liberia. Too many things are not, you know, in the form or the manner in which, you know what, let's do that Philip thing tomorrow. Let's take calls, right? Let's take calls on this because this is hurting. 0776 104 104 086 500 104 plus 231 86 500 104 are the numbers to call, and you will be live.
This person gets first. Morning. Good morning. You're live, Peter Sir.
Thank you. I last POP Willie, and I join you from Brooklyn to Shufo. I am the voice of the common people. Or you see, we're not playing on the killer in the camera button when they are speaking recklessly and loosely. We blame on some individual who have brought those old boys back to time, who are for day of criminality, who is the organizer of the Lofa Defense Force in Joseph Nyuma Boakai. Let us dig deeper into Joseph Nyuma Boakai process. Joseph Nyuma Boakai was a man recruited in his own government, and he was so corrupt, he was criminal, he took all the money they placed in that blue or green revolution to revolutionize agriculture in Liberia. So he made a point who suffered. When they started from that government, he had that thing in mind. When they talk about civil war, when people were coming against him, that he formed a group called Lofa Defense Force and killed and committed mayhem and chaos in Liberia. Now that he has become president, he knows nothing but to bring those old criminals. Look, that born-again man, that thing we're talking about, that crazy guy on that road called Born-Again Road, name that road after him, Born-Again Road. When he gave that offense, he got a group of militia. They are genuine in there. They are being there is they are missionary, and then the government is looking for someone so that they can use it and get that person down. So he's actively running or kind of death squad.
Look at that. And the government knows about it. The security people knows about it. The police knows about it.
Yeah, out they said they were going down to real place, and you talking about just hospital. They know they use the guy against the past regime. They use him. He was treating them. They are playing in our face. He's treating them. They are like on a base there. He sees them and they get paid for anything they want to use. They want to sell
Okay.
it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you,
Yvonne.
Peter. Let's talk to somebody else here. Morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. I will sorry, we are coming to do it.
Money, you got to lower your monitor.
Okay, she dropped the line. 0776-104-104 plus 231-886-500-104 ID numbers. You can call us on here this morning and be a part of the conversation here on Freedom 87.9 on the Freedom on Air right here. This person, good morning. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, you live.
Happy New Year to you guys.
Many happy returns.
Pastor Emmanuel Cooper, I call to commend you guys for your better analysis on the so-called pontificate. It is that it's great to see such a man who claims to call himself the pastor, the minister of the gospel, who is not transformed, whose mind hasn't been renewed. And I'm so sorry that Liberia can listen, or even watch the kind of people in society listening to them. We are living in a disgraceful generation out of this animal podcast that brought peace and criminal to power. But I pray for the peace of this country, and that Liberia will deliver the land from the hands of the wicked ones. On this animal podcast. God bless you, God. God
Okay.
bless Mama Liberia.
Thank you.
Let's
Thank you
talk
very
to,
much.
This person, morning.
Yeah. Good morning, Abu and Nika.
Good morning, ma.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I try to put a radio, or I don't put it on a different radio. Yeah, Papa. This is my girl calling from on the old road. You know, I beg you. I'll be calling from now on the long time no more.
Okay.
You see, I beg you. This Bwaka here. You said when people say that you people go war in your country, these are small things. And Bwaka here. Bwaka, I was telling some people who were coming across on the board. Bwaka that fight for major. This is calling Major Bwaka. I'm going away. It was surprising to many people. Then one wanted, they think what am I talking? That true, you know, this what they were doing argument. They Bwaka here, that rebel men. So they came to power. They using their rebel group there to fight CC and Moses from power. They bought naked doing a campaign. Here one they use that what you see they carry to the NSA. But naked so terrible men were on Jolly Road. Yes, that was big man. He had no small man. He had a boss with him. That one he boss fought my son. Yes, and put that on his face, blow his son. So I know Paul naked very well. Across the road there was the deliverance team. That those people and his girlfriend, his wife used to go there, girlfriend. That I get talk to the people, Pastor Charles. They Bishop Kumpune today. They didn't want to deliver Paul naked. So that Paul naked, I know his story. That big killer. Then that Bwaka came to power because he came for local people, Mayor Bwaka. Then he brought the Paul naked here. They're the one Paul naked was 24. He has his whole gang.
Okay.
He was even trained there last time to workplace near to Harvard.
All right.
So that wicked man here, he comes to power and he wants to be targeting citizen.
Okay.
And he get a whole drug gang there.
All right.
Yes, so that rebel man.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
He has no strength. He does not have the moral. I come but he does not have the moral. Although even say for him work in office.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's talk to David King from this end. David, morning. Good morning. Go ahead.
You know, in 1996, my late friend George Washington was killed near the BDC with General Mohammed Doumbouya. Doumbouya used to be the chief of staff during the interim government with Taylor, Alaji Nkrumah, and other people. Pondeke was the one who beheaded those guys and took their head and sat it on the table and made roadblock. The road leading from UN Drive and Ken Johnson Road in the section. He sat here there. He's a terrible guy.
And it's important for the young people to know these stories and know him because he passes around and adds like some kind of moral voice.
So he's
imagine a man who behead people and put it and fix roadblock with it.
he's not a moral
Take human
voice
being
too.
here and make checkpoint with human being here.
Yeah, and that's how A.B. Nkrumah became the next chief of staff after Mohamed Doumbouya was beheaded by Bondike. So when people speak in the country, they should be people of moral voice. Bondike he's not one of those persons. This is the man who made him more intestine or a gate. So he's not somebody who's supposed to be talking. He had an open confession that he made. This guy confessed that he killed over 25,000 human beings. He said that he became an oracle because he wanted to carry on mass destruction. And for Joseph Boakai, we know his history. In 1991, 92, they and Labrador they formed the Lofa Defense Force. And the late First Massacre, they all were part of the Lofa Defense Force. They brought the Lofa Defense Force into being. And this is what I told somebody, I say, the issue of war and economic crime code, it will not take effect because Joseph Boakai is scheming on the international community. He wants to behave, I even say, he offer anything called retribution or whatever. He will not do anything in this country concerning war and economic crime code.
Okay.
Joseph Boakai, he do not have
All right, dude, thank you.
restitute.
Well said. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's take more calls.
Somebody from this other side. Morning.
Hello.
You want to walk away from your radio or I should cut you off?
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm calling from Canada.
Go ahead, buddy.
The Bondike man that you're talking about, he's now a speaker for the country. Everybody in this country is supposed to know Bondike is a wicked man. I saw him, I was him and he claimed he escaped from his war. I mean, you so call him up his skin and 2 years. He and one of his men that they call Mukamu. So if he's bleeding off, someone that they should go DJ, he's supposed to be the one that's supposed to go DJ. Ever since they don't want to help the country that work out shouldn't be a citizen of people. Because they are very wicked. That means you so call him up here, somebody here working. April says what? For Kingsley Street coming done, they want you. But not baby. When you see the woman, you put a key, you will let it run, and you need to say they will put on fire. Nature here in my apartment when you see the other street. So every wicked people on the edge of that, but I can't think that to be best people because it's a wicked man.
Okay. All right. Morning. Hello.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Ega.
Morning.
Good morning. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you. May Almighty have given us long life, good health, and prosperity, and give us new ideas as we eclipse another year in our life. Thank you. Into the issue. You know, people like Bondike, the Holocaust, slaughterhouse-style man like Bondike should not get any, moral standing in our character, in our state to discuss national issues. But how will this man not be giving credence when Don Yuma Kwaka use the guy to put their body all around here that were being photographed by Jean Goode Fromo? These were the guys they used years against President Weah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Those are the guys putting their bodies around the screen. They say a mysterious killing.
So they were the guys. Even if you dig deeper, the characters are down Broad Street. These guys are
and that big-head Jean Goode Fromo always used to be there to do the live video.
Very cool. That's why they rewarded him with that job so they can challenge him that you will not discuss how they kill these people. That's the reason why they carry an NSA to challenge him. But these guys, they are responsible for the uncounted number of dead bodies that were under here under President Weah. We know them. The history will come out. Thank you very much.
Wow. Man, you can call back, please. Or Edma Carr as well. You can
let's talk about it. One again say,
and
that's how we talking in the country that he's all be talking. Then when we look at we look at their records. Morning. Can you imagine?
Good morning.
Yeah, go ahead.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Ega, good morning. Abu.
Morning.
Morning, ma.
Good morning. Yeah, thank you. You know, now one thing I know about Liberian.
You're lying.
Not to see now, but you heard what happened in Venezuela.
Mm.
When the citizen got tired with that man, with Nicolas, they reported him to to Americans to report him to Trump. You put here what happened in Nigeria, killing of the Christians. When they got tired, they reported to the world power. Trump, what happened in Nigeria? And the extra went there and bombed the place. We need to report Baka and the people. People will see what will happen to Baka. People will see what will happen to Bonnik. Look at Charles Taylor behind bar. How many years now?
Yeah, it's unfair to Charles Taylor though, because the same crime he committed, even though they say, oh, he was a president, a girl, but at the end of the day, we're talking about violating human rights, eating human being hard, killing. Charles Taylor was not the one doing the thing that Bonnik was doing.
That Bonnik was doing. We need to report these people. If we put together, we'll report this. You saw what happened to Baka, they'll collect Baka, they'll collect Bonnik, they'll collect those people. So we'll be free in our country.
Okay. All right, man.
So we'll be free.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. We shouldn't be just be talking. We have to report them.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's talk to somebody else from this side. Morning. Good morning.
That Bonnet say more answer. If I say small, I was small. See Bonnet in a Barry, PTC Barry. I was 2 years for I to see Bonnet. I saw Bonnet. Dragging to where on the top of the area all the way in the Barry. I was 2 years for I used to be behind scenes. Mama used to get tired with me. She would
beheaded the people. Cut human being here with color. Pull it on the car road. That the man open a mob. Baga paying the man over how many $1,000 from NSC.
Okay. Let's talk to Masisi. Masisi, morning.
They thinking, hey, man.
Good morning, Ega, and good morning to Abu.
Morning.
People are following the drug charges. Now, what is my resident in Clarissa? This is my sister. No, Ega, people I know you stop like what can I kill up like I have no moral in this country. No moral for us in this country, but we stop lying. So when they say the Monday rebel, we stop lying and they say what I did. All people cheering here, take for their interest. And tell you want to see the pregnancy, what is that going to say? He will take us from there and jump you and see the child in your stomach.
So I remember know the man is but the man he probably just talk.
He said he was picking war crackle. But because he found the war, he killed for his local. Stop like he killed people. So he not be war crackle. 2 years on now, what happened with 3 years? When you can't be the war crackle, say about water. And you got part of kill up with them. I don't want to see when we are there today. They're talking about people that they actually character. You want to talk about them. Stop lying.
All right.
You go to hell.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's talk to Edmond Carr. Edmond, morning.
Morning, hey God, let me say good morning to Abu. You know, our mother requesting us to report the kinds of information. They can also help us because when you guys carry on the kind of a talk show and getting the view of the very Liberian that experience the kind of wicked guys in the country, they can cut the tape and share it with the international community up there. So that they can listen to us that are telling them that the guys that carry on the mayhem in the country, they are staying here terrifying us, harassing us. It's just necessary to do that.
And intimidating peaceful citizens. Intimidating peaceful citizens. That's what they're doing. Okay, they're being paid by the government to do that. They're being paid by the government to do that. He's even running a militia. That place needs to be investigated. That place, that play what they say, I hate to call it born again community, but people need to investigate that. That man not supposed to be organizing militias in the state. It's not supposed to be done that way. But
human flesh, a dream human block that what he live on. So if you talk about moral issue here, he lacks the ability to discuss such an issue.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me tell you, Eugene.
Thank you, Edmond.
Should be in jail by now.
Okay.
Thank you, Eugene. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning, Abu, and let me say good morning to Ega.
Eugene,
and let me say happy New Year.
Many happy returns.
So Abu, I called for capital bypass. You know, Abu, I'm constrained this morning to make my input relative to Milton Bly. You know, Abu, sometimes I wonder as to which country that we read it in. We claim to be our foundation was built on, called it, and on biblical things, standard. But Liberia, sometimes I wonder, there's a man who killed thousands of Liberians. He has no moral to even speak. He should always be praying for forgiveness, in front of the altar. But there's a man who kind of, criticize people who are not even murder. But there's a man who has killed innocent Liberians. Today, innocent blood continue to cry, in his knee. But you see nothing wrong with that. And these are, and people from the other side continue to benefit from his arrogant behavior. But again, Liberians need to stand up. People like Mr. Blaide and many others who have benefited from the democratic space of our country, that people who are still, peace be to the ashes, like the late Prince Joseph, people who are still and will give them state power, will allow them in a space of democratic tendency. Even though to forgive them, it's not a bad thing, but to even allow them to even carry our space to criticize, it's unfortunate. And Mr. Blair should have no space in our country to even speak out. Thank you so much, man, for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you very kindly. This man in a real society should be should be held in a maximum penitentiary. They'll be passing around here and talking, and he's not the only killer. They sit in the back, they're living their life, they're doing their thing. But this other man just come like say everybody blind in the country and passing around and everybody's ignoring him. I mean, are you kidding me? This thing don't happen anywhere in the world. Right? This thing don't happen anywhere in the world besides Liberia. That you take mass murderers and they will be celebrated. Okay, let me take this break. When we come back, we will join our guest, Wanto Tia Wanto, who will be joining us very shortly. This break, and we will be right back.
Waiting, I'm gonna do for you to know what the you. For you to know what the you, after everything I do, but why you letting me, waiting, I'm gonna do for you to know what the you, all the insult taking up for you, when I think of all the things I used to say, I used to swear it all. I say love can't do me like this. Oh yeah, but say I made you, yeah, I mean I take a sometimes we can fight, you get blessed, but what it depends. You say go, I can't go, I waiting holding me, oh, you're not that many. My people say you finish with me. They think you pour in my food and now you see me. I can be walking in sunshine, I can see clear. I ain't cargo, you remember I get detail. Oh, you're not that many.
This is lyrical mastery, and of course from the man J-Boy the Prophet. LRB music to the war. Right here on the big station, Freedom 87.9. Good morning to all of our friends, our fans, our followers. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to all of the folks out there. Congratulations to those of our fans celebrating the birthday or observing some other special occasion in their life today. It's always a good thing. So yeah, we need to flex a little. Love now, Mimi Mumu. You know, we gotta play this because there's a lot of love thing going on in the country. Other people going to cook for men rule. So that's technically that's Cecilia Kun asking Jeremiah Kun, what thing I'm gonna do to prove my love to you? You want me to kill myself? All the things I do for you, I brought your pie America. Hey, yeah. Hey, Jeremiah.
All the things I used to say, I used to swear all. I say love can't do me like this.
Oh yeah, we got it like that. Hey, say, oh my man, love that thing can't happen to me.
Sometimes we can fight, you get best, but what it depends. You say go, I can't go, I wait holding me.
Oh, Richard Kun, sorry, I said Jeremiah. Oh, Jay Kun, sorry, yeah. Sorry to my man Jay Kun. Jay Kun pa, we got plenty in cooking. You see, Jay Kun is like a real race car park right now. But we holding a, we ain't talking here.
Race car is not parking in the garage.
Not parking in the garage.
Race car not parking in the garage. You're parking is stuck up in the mud.
And this song can also apply to my own boy. He got Gonda, right? Yeah. He got him do TikTok the video, send it to the
Yesterday was the birthday of Samuel Light Cooper, one of our ardent followers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Samuel is a religious follower.
Yeah.
But guess what now? Talking about love and relationship and marriages and issues and all of that, right? We are getting report also. The rescue government, yeah. That the EPS director in on a marriage buha. So let me play small table. Oh yeah, the EBS man, Sam Gay. We are hearing I've got some marital issues as well, and it's being allegedly dragged to court. But we'll talk more about that tomorrow, folks. This is the Freedom Morning Rise on Freedom 87.9. Let's hold the music, at least LIB music, to the war. And so we have our dear friend and brother, Wanto Tier. Wanto, he has joined in already. So let's go strictly to bring in Wanto. Wanto, good morning. Welcome to Freedom FM. And Happy New Year to you.
Good morning. Are you hearing me?
Yeah,
yes, we are.
You're clear.
Oh, great. I'm excited to be back on Freedom. Thank you so much, Abu, for the invitation. Today is a very incredible day. It's cool year in the UK, but it's also funny. It's cool, but then sun shining, funny weather.
Okay, that's quite interesting. Happy New Year, man. How is it so far? How was last year with you?
It was amazing. It was a great time. The most important privilege in life, Abu, is seeing a new year. It's a tremendous privilege to be alive. And so for me, I take it in good faith that I'm alive, which is the most important aspect. I think at the drawdown of the year, we saw a robust CDC intellectually engaging the media, providing fast countering disinformation, and ensuring that we can be able to stay on tight with, putting this government on their feet. That for me was incredible because it justified that CDC can be sophisticated if they want to.
we saw a new version of 1 2 tier. I don't know if it was the any part of the year or the beginning. That lovely 1 2. Talk to us about that.
People just blowing things out of proportions. And the funny thing is, people expect me to be virgin, to be virgin.
So that was you, right? And that's the madam. Congratulations, my man.
Thank you, Chief. It is. As always, the goal as primarily there will be a moment when people, I mean, you're an example. You're married man. You have a family, which is amazing. At some point we have to cultivate to that level.
Yeah,
but the truth is, and I understand why people blowing it out of proportion is because I've lived a life that's been very private, and that was like very, very out there. Yeah, but we're thinking of a family soon, and that's the most important aspect of life.
Yeah, and I'm excited to hear that. I can remember doing my time when I got wedded, when you call in and we talk about it. You also said you were thinking in a direction. So when I saw the video, I said, okay, the man actually.
Yes.
Which is a good thing.
But Wanto, your county is also in action today in the National County Sports Meet.
Okay, anyway, I'm talking
the last game I was there, I have a very, I'm privileged to be from two of the most incredible county. Neymar from Patana Sa, and then Grand Kema from Matana Sa. So it's always an incredible,
Grand Jida or Grand Kema?
Grand Kema. So my mom is from Grand Kema.
Okay, that's good. That's a smart, perfect intellectual mixture right there, though.
Very much. It is a very not just perfect but powerful intellectual mixture.
Yeah.
And I hold these two countries so dear because I love my mom and my dad. But the truth is, I was at the first game of Neymar County first game. I also at Neymar Grand Kema first game as well, and we were victorious as possible.
Okay.
I think Neymar.
So in the final game in this new format of the quarterfinals, your mother county is going to be up against your father's county.
Yes, definitely. I find it as always when you put in that position, people think that it's a complex position, but it's enjoyable. You will not go bad feeling. Came out when you're happy, Nima when you're happy, enjoy you're happy. You live with something. If you're a gambler, you gamble, you still win something. So obviously, I think I'll be cheering for both countries as possible. And what I'm saying over time is that the country it has a robust potential to be a space for reconciliation. We had off to the fact that for the first time this year we saw an extreme controversy, and we're grateful that Kema stood their ground, and it's showing that the presidential power will not influence decision in any way possible.
Then after standing that ground, they went ahead and feeded a red-carded player.
Your friend. The truth is, according to
but that player was confirmed and cleared by the U.S. Sports Ministry.
Is that a FIFA standard?
No, that's why the tournament.
The tournament standard says that all rules apply. When there is a fundamental clarification, it does not take precedent to the next match. So I think what.
So 1 minute. I think it looked like your crew followers want to have some claim to you. So they're asking as to the tier name.
So my name, the name Tia is actually a Mano name. The pronunciation is Tia, but it spells the same way as Tia. But anyway, as usual, I always tell my crew follower that I'll also claim Grand Crew as well. So we'll add that to the content, making it 3. Because
you kind of cross more like a crew guy, though.
Yeah, I sound like a I know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah, the internet. So
No,
I hope that will satisfy
I will claim Grand Crew as well. We'll add Grand Crew there because I must be able to also attach this Southeastern principle to it. So we'll take that.
Okay.
Yeah, but the truth is I'm from Nema in Grand Kema. My dad is Mano. I'm from a town in Nema called Bogampa, a very small town, and then my mom is she lives in Bowater side, so around Tier 1 district or something.
Okay, want to? I mean, this is home for you, so we have to, munch on some stuff and all of that.
Of
So,
course.
so let's go back a little bit. First of all, to look at 2025, an overview for you in terms of governance and politics. What was it? We saw a whole very fierce and forceful engagement, like you intimated earlier, from your political base, ending 2025. Talk to us about that. Was there a kind of meeting to say, oh, we got to be more than what we have been over the period?
Yeah, it's because the truth is, CDC over the period of time, allow combative role to be able to display in our politics, where the current government, regardless of the fact that they are doing absolutely nothing, creating a pictorial diplomacy and political picture to demonstrate that they are accomplishing a lot. And in this kind of deceptions, it's more critical to be able to, dissect the propaganda from what is truth and honest. And I'll tell you, Abu, when I was going at the airport, I realized that I drove almost 70% of the trip towards the airport completely in darkness. But the government just celebrated RIA and said that they constructed, safety light at the airport to ensure there was safety. And the president went and illuminated that light. And that's the kind of deception we have in our politics. It goes far beyond that. It comes to policy, it comes to decision-making process, and it comes to governance.
I thought they said it was in phases, and they were dedicating the first phase.
But the truth is, the essence of taking the president to go to and put a few lights closer towards the airport, it's the biggest hypocrisy ever. And here's the thing:
but that's phase one. I want to. Do you have a problem? They said it's in phases, and they have completed that phase. So the president was okay to go and dedicate that phase.
No, about the communication on e-mansion speak quite differently to that, and I read what the communication says on e-mansion, and that's where my concern is. The communication on e-mansion said President Bouaka officially switched on the ELWA RIA street light and Bento electrification project, marking illumination of the ELWA junction to RIA highway stretch, as well as Bento Crossville electricity project. It did not communicate interface to say this. So we may say there's a political communication. What the communication justifies that the president or switch on light from ELWA to RIA. And I found that significantly deceptive in a way, because this is not the situation. The situation here, if you see massive darkness towards the airport way, and that should never be the case. We must be honest. And my point here, Abu, is that we must be honest with development outcome, because you're building a picture of a state that is making tremendous progress, and that's not the case. And in the time past, you criticize President Weah and CDC for celebrating many things like that, and now today you are making the president to go at night and put on a light in a partial settlement closer to the airport, while the entire way towards the airport is completely in darkness. Then the second aspect, which I found it very tremendous, is the blame shift on CDC. Okay. Every time you criticize these things, the Unity Party will tell you, say CDC saved the country for 6 years. Why they didn't do it? But here's what is very fascinating about it.
Why do you have a problem with that? If, of course, you as a party and a government, then you also had the opportunity to set the stage. I think that isn't entirely a bad precedent or basis or premise to lay that the argument that you're making, the CDC should have. So if a Unity Party official argue that, why do you have problem with it?
No, it's not primarily about me having power. It's a great question, Abu. Yes, where my concern is. My concern is we don't assess development on this kind of outcome because there are a lot of things to be able to point out specifically. The first thing to point out here is the fact that the Unity Party served 12 years. Around the drawdown of the 12 year, I think somewhere around 2015, the Unity Party won the MCC Compact. If I'm not mistaken, I showed 2015. The Unity Party won the MCC Compact. The MCC Compact provided around 250 million, I think, something like that, specifically on electricity project. So what did we do with that money that we can't get street light? When CDC started constructing street light and illuminating project closer to the electoral process, there were exceptional criticism on CDC because of that. And the second thing that we also think about is the hypocrisy in governance that I think is very concerning, because one conversation has always been on the poverty statistics and the demographic. When Unity Party served for the timeline that Unity Party served in governance, specifically around the 12 years period, the Unity Party argued that it left 2.4 million people in poverty, and CDC left 2.6 million. But
we'll come to that. We'll come to that thing that the brought. I wanted to stick to the electricity thing that you brought up, right? That when you argue the electricity issue and the government folks to say the CDC should have done it, all of that, and you took us back to the MCC Compact that was won during the previous 12 years
on electricity.
And you asked questions about what did they do, right? Which is genuine and fair. Then the question also to you to strengthen your argument going forward as an opposition who have had an opportunity to state power. What did you do in the 6th period with electricity specifically?
Yeah, specifically with electricity, which is a very good question. CDC did construct street light, and that's what I'm saying. The reason I criticize the aspect of the street light is when CDC began constructing street light, not only at RIA, but also in rural counties and in other areas. The bigger criticism was that street light should not be celebrated in Liberia. So my criticism is that if you are constructing temporary street lights closer to RIA and using it as a holistic governing accomplishment, I found serious fault with that. And the other thing is, I just read the communication e-marshal. The hypocrisy in the communication from then what is actual is for me concerning. If you communicate on the executive marshal and saying that we in ourselves we just constructed street light from RIA, from ELWA to RIA and Coastal, and we don't see anything like that, then that's what the deception is. We must be honest.
And I agree with you. That's actual deception, because if you say from between RIA, between ELW to RIA, and the reality is actually that there's a small segment of the scratch, then it's a problem. Then what does that say to you about leadership and honesty?
It says a lot, because the very electricity we're speaking about just yesterday, I'm sure you read a report where the LEC office was shut down because of areas not paved. There was something very interesting that came out of that report, is that the current LEC leadership, the Liberia electricity leadership, communicated. They did a whole communication. I'm not authenticating the communication, but it's just the methodology and the information being shared. That specifically, that entire process, Abu, it started in 2011. They said they entered a deal in 2011. And there's something very interesting about this.
With the Swiss company that took them to court?
Yes. And they said in 2011, when they got in that, I'll find the exact company information, because I
think it's a Swedish company. Yeah, but go ahead.
So they said when they got into that agreement with the entire electricity decision-making process, the whole deal cannot be authenticated. And that deal came in on a Unity Party in 2011. So if we say 2011, it's obviously the very Unity Party. So what the Electricity Corporation is saying, that they entered a deal that can be authenticated. They made an agreement that is not that is fraudulent, and so because of that, the deal itself it can be justified. So we are saying the Unity Party also engaged in fraudulent act in 2011 with the Electricity Corporation. You found the irony about it. Just recently, the GSC investigated numerous other fraudulent agreement on administration.
Okay.
The GSC that specific case. So you see the picture I'm giving. is the fact that people assume that the Unity Party, after 12 years, is considered the most angelic regime in Liberia. It's not. It's fact. Comparatively,
how many want to? They should be part of government debt, right? So when the GAC conducted the debt audit, and we did not see anything about Airtel, right?
We
So
do,
it's
yeah.
electrical material supplier.
And the company is talking about over 23 million.
No, not 23. It's 309,929.40.
Yeah, we didn't see anything about Airtel. That's the money we're talking about. There. So you see the point I'm driving, Abu, is we must be very critical about analyzing this regime, because this regime is using the biggest sophisticated propaganda to present themselves as the angelic discovery of Liberia. And for those who are short-sighted to not be reminded that we are talking about Unity Party here, in 12 years, we know what came up from corruption watchdog. We know for sure where even the president exonerated her son by saying, I'll take the blame for the mismanagement of millions in the car. That's the regime we're speaking about. And then when we want to talk about this Unity Party, people assume that, oh no, CDC destroyed this country. And in all my research, all my understanding of governance, Abu, I've never seen a sophisticated argument to justify how CDC destroyed this country, and Unity Party, build this country and transform it and be more patriotic and stuff. Maybe you can convince me. I haven't seen it. I don't know if I will see it in my lifetime, because there's every evident point to this Unity Party on a playbook of the 12 years.
Thank you very much. So lastly, on the 2025 review and all of that, coming to the end of it, there was this whole big debate about the bread and butter issues, comparative analysis were June and all of that. On the averages comparatively. Yeah, I'm hearing you quite well. Okay. Are you getting me? Comparatively, the averages of the two regime over the period since post-war, right? Looking at the bread and butter issue, he graded the CDC to be far better than the Unity Party for all the time that they have served post-war Liberia. Do you agree with that? Elements from the regime have said that sources that the former finance minister did not quote any source for his data. You are a researcher. Do you agree with what the finance minister said and the position he communicated, that the CDC did better with the bread and butter issue, gasoline and rice price average management compared to Unity Party over the two periods?
Yeah, it is a very interesting conversation. Here's what is fascinating about it, right? The first thing the Unity Party did in the poverty debate is that they pointed out a report shared with our understanding. So the report that they are justifying on CDC leaving this country more in poverty, the report is highlighted from 2014 onward. So under that report, Liberia experienced a sharp increase in poverty under the Unity Party. It shows that absolute poverty rose from 54.1% in 2014 to about 59% in 2016. So meaning the number of poor people under that specific timeline, Abu, they significantly increased. Beyond just the number of poor people increasing from 0.35 to 0.4.
Do you have the report? Can you share the report with us? So
yes. The report is Liberia poverty assessment towards a more inclusive Liberia. I'll soon you search online, you'll find a report. It's accessible to everyone. Liberia. Do you want me to find it to send?
Yeah, no, we talking. I will find it.
Okay, so it's the World Bank report, Liberia poverty assessment towards a more inclusive Liberia. That's the report being quoted by the Unity Party. Yes, what is fascinating also about the report, Abu. The other thing that's also fascinating about the report is that rural poverty under the Unity Party increased sharply by over 11%. Rural residents accounting for 63.2% of the total poor population in 2016 went to about 52.5%. Extreme poverty under the Unity Party in that very report deteriorated sharply, especially in areas where it rose from 27.4% to 38.3%. And the number of extreme poor people increased to 0.3 million, so that means over 300,000. The report also attribute worsening poverty to the 2015 downturn, even population growth, weak rural resilience. All of these things are highlighted in the report.
The report published March 26, 2024.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
No. The report is specifically highlighting rural poverty under the Unity Party. The timeline in the report, if the specific area I'm quoting is under Unity Party from 2014 to 2016. That's the specific area I'm highlighting. So what the guys did ironically with the report is that in that very same report, they provide subsequent economic update of estimate poverty decline, which specifically also highlighted CDC for ensuring that there is poverty decline. That's World Bank, it's not me. The World Bank credited CDC within that timeline for the downtown trend. But in the report, also what is very fascinating to note, Abu, is that this very Unity Party set up a policy called a poverty reduction strategy. And I'm sure you're aware of the poverty reduction strategy. Correct. And the report highlighted that at the downturn of the Unity Party regime, there was an increasing trend in poverty. So you see how very hypocritical it is. That's the reason why we are very skeptical about the arrest agenda. Because if you develop
one minute, let me just read excerpt from the report. Liberia Poverty Assessment Towards a More Inclusive Liberia highlights even after 2 decades of relative peace, more than half of Liberia's population still lives in poverty, reflecting the scars of a devastating civil conflict and the Ebola crisis. Poverty measured at the official national poverty line increased from 54.1% in 2014 to 58.9% in 2016, driven by the Ebola crisis and the 2015 economic downturn. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the report. So they know that report, and you just read it as possible. That's exactly what I'm speaking about. So, and what is very fascinating about the report, Abu, is that this very Unity Party presented itself to reduce poverty by the whole policy called poverty reduction strategy. So at the downturn of the regime, instead of reducing poverty was increasing. So CDC inherited an increasing trend in poverty. Yeah, it's where my disappointment of CDC is. I don't know why agreement CDC made with the Unity Party, but CDC
So 1 to 1 minute. The argument is when CDC inherited an increasing trend in poverty, did the CDC increase it more, or did the CDC work to maintain it at a rate, or even reduce it on a positive note?
No, so here's where the guys to some extent feel the interest in it. So when Unity Party left 2.24 million people in poverty, they said Unity Party left 2.24 million in poverty, and CDC increased it by CDC left 2.6 million in poverty. So announcing that CDC sent 380,000 people into poverty. Yes, another area they failed to be able to grasp, right? Another area they feel, and we anticipated these people.
But before the other area, are the numbers correct? Can you confirm those numbers?
No, the numbers in the report is correct. But yes, the most important aspect of the report that's very interesting. If you argue that CDC, because the World Bank is saying that CDC left the country on a declining poverty note. And do you know why the World Bank says so? The World Bank says so is because to argue that CDC left more people because of the 2.24 million and 2.6 million means that statistically what you are saying is that on the timeline being highlighted, Abu, nobody was born in Liberia anymore. So the country poverty begins stagnated, and there's been absolutely nothing. But yes, the thing. The good thing about it, on CDC, we had a population census.
Okay.
By 2022, the country population had grown from about 5.25 million, expanding at roughly 3% per year. Okay. Meaning we have thousands of people that were being born in Liberia in the timeline being calculated. So it doesn't make sense at all because we had an expanded population of 5.25 million. So to argue that it mean when population grow that fast, the number of people in poverty can increase. That's the context of the World Bank. Beyond just when population grow, the number of people can increase. We're also talking about trend increasing.
Is that the CDC's justification, or that's the
World Bank justification is that CDC left the country on a declining poverty note? That's the World Bank statement. What the guys are quoting?
You lose poverty level from about a 3 percentage point, right?
No, the World Bank report is that CDC left the country on a declining poverty. The World Bank report said that Unity Party left the country on an increasing trend. The argument here from the World Bank and CDC is that to argue on the numbers, that means Liberian population did not grow within a timeline, which doesn't make sense, Abu. So we are saying when Unity Party left office in 2018, or when they lost the election 2017, when CDC took office from 2018 up to 2024, then no population growing in Liberia will remain stagnated at that population, which is not true because we have the population census which are just quoted. So part of the situation is that the guys are not understanding either they don't understand the number.
So you are basically saying because the population grew, so that's why the number under the CDC increased by that stretch.
Because poverty in itself is an inherent systemic issue in Liberia. So to claim that one political party,
I agree, it's a systemic issue, but we have to own up to our records.
No, but the record does not justify what the guys are saying. It must be a difficult.
No, the guys went for the number. The guys went for the number. The guy said, okay, over the 6 periods, right? Translating the percentages is about 300,000 or plus, right? That CDC added. And if you translate our own percentage, it will be lesser than that. And you are saying that argument is lazy because people are ignoring poverty growth. So I'm asking, are you saying population growth? Sorry. Are you saying because population grew by a certain percentage point yearly, so it justify why CDC number is higher than the United Party number in 2014 and below?
It's not just a justification, but it's a clear fact to know that to argue on poverty trend, you must be able to incorporate poverty number. So what we're arguing is not specific. What the guys are arguing is not specifically about poverty in itself. They are saying since 2018, United Party left the country on an increasing poverty trend with that number, and they are saying then CDC left the country with this number. So to argue that means you must be able to provide context. What's the population growth between 2018 and 2024? How many people were increasing in Liberia? Because we cannot significantly say poverty stopped growing or population stopped growing in Liberia because the census is just there. And this is what I quoted the census, Abu. By 2022, the country population had grown to about 5.25 million under the census, expanding at roughly 3% per year. So ultimately, we got the evidence to point to the amount of population growth that we have. But also the very important the World Bank assessment, the World Bank Economic Assessment Report on Liberia, completely highlighted that CDC, to some extent, left on a declining poverty note, and that's not for me. It's in the same very report.
Okay, Wonto, let's go you on that. Let's talk about job creation.
A very interesting question, Abu. When we think about job creations under this government, we probably will look at the budgetary allotment. If you read the arrest agenda, Abu, you realize that the Unity Party highlighted a significant area of providing opportunity, especially youth opportunity. Yesterday, I spoke, tremendously around the labor market and the job inflation market and so forth. This Unity Party promised on increasing TVET opportunity for young people. The very United Party, Abu, also promises that they will be able to expand opportunities, youth opportunities. They argue that they'll provide a reduction in unemployment. In fact, what we're seeing is a stagnant, uncontrolled inflation of unemployment, increasing at a very high level. So the systemic innovation that's being created by the United Party does not even justify what we are saying. The biggest innovation from this government on job creation is asking full-year graduate to go on sweeping job. Youth unemployment and social impact in the very aspect promise that within the rest agenda promise that young people
the only job they've created is what? Vacation sweeping job?
Vacation sweeping job for full-year graduate, and they ask them to bring their CV for it. And that's the situation we have right now. The minister of youth.
Are you being sarcastic or you being real?
I'm being very real as possible. That's from the Ministry of State. I challenge any United Partisan to show me what other job opportunity being created apart from that. Unless if they will tell me that the presidential internship program is a job. But the interesting thing, that also is another fiasco. But the interesting thing here also, Abu, is that this government, without any shame, without any remorse, blatantly ask graduate, bring your CV, we'll have a vacation sweeping job for you. People who went to school for 4 years. They call you a big name, temporary, I think temporary employment or something. But there's the truth. This government, the very minister of youth says that the Ministry of Youth.
But 1 minute, let me hold you. Is it fair to judge job creation only by government, job, or even job created in the private sector? How about in the private sector, at the private sector level? Has the government not attracted companies that have also equally created opportunity? Have they not engaged existing concession to expand employment? Can that be counted as job creation for them?
Abu, it's a very interesting question. A comfortable truth about this is over 77% of Liberians are vulnerable in informal employment opportunity. The private sector employ less than 15% of the formal private sector, which is the one that we consider formal in our context. It employs less than 15% of the workforce, despite the fact that about 77% are in vulnerable informal employment. Most businesses in Liberia, Abu, they are macro and survival oriented, not growth oriented. So the government came with a structural plan called the Arrest Agenda, and their objective in that very agenda is to increase private support to the Arrest Agenda about 35%, which will contribute to their support. So funny as it is, the government is contributing less to the Arrest Agenda plan, and the private sector is contributing more. We've seen no strategy or plan to be able to empower the private sector. In fact, even proponents of the government, advocates, criticize the government private sector plan, saying that the government has no plan for the private sector. But that's not the only thing. Despite the fact having no plan for the private sector, we have something called the Liberianization Act, which primarily looks to protect Liberians' jobs. The Ministry of Labor biggest innovation to achieve that is ensuring that they provide an inflated permit to foreigners, where they sell foreigner permit at an increasing level, and then they call it contribution to revenue generation. So while we have unemployment skyrocketing, instead of protecting Liberians' job to provide access and opportunity for Liberians, the government that promised that Liberians will not be spectator in our economy is providing opportunity for foreigners through permit. In fact, funny as it is, in the very Ministry of Labor, a few days ago, the very inspector who is inspecting fraudulent permit, was suspended for selling fraudulent permit to foreigner.
And what danger what's the danger about that?
The danger about it is, let me repeat it again. Maybe you didn't see the danger. The Inspector General who is evaluating fraudulent permit, working with the Ministry of Labor, is the very Inspector General who is selling fraudulent permit to foreigner. The danger about it means there is no structural integrity in the very governance process, and we're having more inflated permits to foreigners, while Liberians are not having access to job opportunity in an economy where the government promised to have Liberians not being spectators of their own economy. But that's not the only thing. The guy was suspended, he's home, no persecution, absolutely no accountability for it as well. But the United Party itself has no plan for unemployment. Do you know the biggest demographic that's impacted by this skyrocketing unemployment? Is the young people. The young people. The young people are the specific demographic is the growing population of young people impacted by it. So the private sector is also dominated by commerce, and it's not dominated by production. You ask a question: which international firm the government has attracted to Liberia? One single one.
That's what I'm asking you. Looking at 2025 and up to where we are you saying per the record there is nothing that the government has attracted that
we don't have any? We absolutely don't have any. The government came on that perception that they will be able to provide some of the best opportunity. Well, I name a single private company that the government attracted to Liberia. Even American company, whether McDonald's, whether fast food, whatever possible. The concession model we have here look to create job, look to create wealth and not job. Here's what is very important. The large concessions in mining and forestry and agriculture we have here, they are capital intensive, they are not labor intensive. They employ relatively few Liberians. They export raw material with minimum value addition. And what they do is they provide a one-time offshore budget to our budget support to our budget. Like Achela Meta right now provided 200 million to our budget, Abu. And that 200 million is initiated to provide a single offshore support What the government did is they did not save it in a sovereign wealth or saving so that it can be able to be a futuristic boost for Liberia. They took that one offshore budget, included in the budget, to flamboyantly go around and say we increase the budget to 1.2 billion. So by next year, the budget will decline to another static space of around 800 million because we have no comprehensive sustainability plan for maintaining a $1.2 million offshore.
Okay, because of time, I just want us to roll over a lot of things because so what can you say, right? Are there more Liberians without job under the United Party now than they were? What does the record show?
Of course, we challenge the government to investigate. They said yesterday the deputy minister for manpower came to defend the government, and Clarence asking a question and say, can you provide a single employment portfolio that can be data that can be able to show the current data you have? He said, we are still working on the data. We don't have any data. So the government itself cannot even, there's no study, no feasibility study from the very government on knowing the kind of unemployment, scenario in Liberia. So we don't know the statistics of unemployment. So
let's talk about creating economic opportunity in terms of the marketplace, and doing business, particularly in Liberia, for ordinary Liberian entrepreneurs to be able to strive, and where we'll see normally government will give out loan opportunities and all of that. Have there been more of these under the United Party in your observation than they were in the past, or have that trend declined? Are Liberians having access to finance? Is the government supporting these initiatives?
The only grant I've seen possibly is the political grant. Government officials who we know for sure could not afford providing access to grant. They are now going to their constituent, using public funding to be able to provide grants to their constituents, and that's the only kind of grants we have currently. But it's a very interesting question. Most of the current economic framework we have a prioritize macro stability or access to credit. This entire process leave ourselves to be entirely, driven around policies that does not even provide opportunity for entrepreneurs. There is no national SME credit window. There is no youth enterprise fund at scale. There is no country-based revolving loan system. No agricultural manufacturing startup facility.
SMEs credit window?
No, absolutely nothing. We don't even have a national entrepreneurship financing program. Funny as it is, Abu, the arrest agenda highlighted that they will initiate these things. Today we don't have a competitive entrepreneurship financing program. And funny as it is, the institution that we're bringing that is the USAID, for instance, we're bringing that. Now USAID is no longer active.
This is alarming to me. How are we going to rescue the people if we do not have means of providing small resources for them to be able to turn around? Since we can't bring job, but give them access to credit.
Yeah, and women and youth are the biggest loser under this government. So market women, petty trader, artisan, and young entrepreneur, they completely lack collateral. There is no formal records of any collateral, and they also lack political access as well.
Why do you think it is so? Why do you think it is so?
Because this government came on a very deceptive nature. Even the very harmonization where the campaign for today, civil servant, a salary almost in the third budget cycle, still remain unchanged. That's the situation. If you campaign on unrealistic agenda, criticizing everything your predecessor do, you will struggle. You struggle. So the government is only rescuing the people being rescued in this government. They are the bunch of aristocrats who are primarily built around the presidency that are increasing their funds. Unfortunately, some are seditious who transition overnight to become sycophantic worshippers. But now we have the deputy speaker budget is inflated. We have the speaker budget inflated. We have the legislature salary on travel allowance increase. Even the president budget is inflated. The vice president budget is inflated. That's the situation we have in Liberia. The ordinary people cannot have anything from the government of such, and this is very interesting. Yes, what CDC did at the camp, they're primarily running after tour and others. The CDC used the Central Bank of Liberia Intervention Program to inject liquidity into the economy. This entire process supported microfinance and SME lending windows. Even during the COVID-19 crisis, we provided temporary opportunity to keep small businesses alive in this country, Abu. We expanded youth empowerment and community-based economic program. It may be imperfect, but it was extremely visible as possible. So we this entire process of how we handle COVID-19, under this kind of credit exclusion program, under President Weah reflected a poor interventionist philosophy. And that is something that this government cannot beat. And we did that during COVID-19.
Okay. So if I'm understanding you, you're arguing that under the CDC, there were these macro borrowing or lending windows open, and small finances or cash were made available to Liberian businesses, and that is not happening now.
We don't have it.
Okay, so that would take me to the 2026 budget, the 1.2 billion. Can Liberians be hopeful?
Let me just add this. Okay, sure. Let me add this in very interesting aspect to it. Honor CDC, we expanded youth empowerment and community-based economic program. We also encourage targeted credit facility during the COVID-19 crisis to keep small businesses alive. Where we usually say 25 million mop-up exercise. We created that space. That's the reason COVID-19 economically, we did not struggle economically during COVID-19 as we did during the Ebola outbreak. Government, the CDC approach may be imperfect, but it
under the CDC there was this initiative, the microfinancing program under the World Bank, the LIFT project. Are you saying the LIFT project has ended or has closed or is no longer?
It is completely closed because under CDC has that people-centered philosophy. Under the CDC government, I will believe that government must intervene where market fails. We also agree that informality must be supported. It must never be indoor. This government completely indoor informality by ensuring that they go through the formal approach. Even the formal approach has no liaison to provide support for businesses across Liberia. We saw credit access as a developmental issue, not as a banking issue. That's the reason why during COVID-19, we provided greater tolerance for state-supported lending in this country. Honor CDC, political recognition was given to ordinary Liberians, not to aristocrats. So what changed now is that the current posture has shifted toward heavy reliance on banks. Funny as it is, also there's a reduced cash flow in the economy. That's the reason why market women are crying today, because they absolutely have no cash flow across the economy. So this is a pure mistake.
So can they have a small window of hope now that we have 1.2 billion budget as a country? Can they be hopeful that the government has put something in there for them?
Let me ask you one single question about what is hopeful about the 1.2 million budget?
Because the picture you painted is so terrible, it's so disheartening for the ordinary people, and I'm like, okay, now we are at 1.2 billion. You people are the specialists, and of course, so that's why I'm asking for the Liberian people they are listening. Can there be hope? Are there hope in that 1.2 billion budget? Who are those to benefit?
Yes, what is interesting, the 1.2 billion budget has 76.7% recurring expenditure, which is almost all of the budget is around recurring expenditure. That means you have US 929.6 million on recurring expenditure. The recurring expenditure is specifically on salary, goods, services, debt payment, and overhead payment. There is only US $281.5 million, 23.2% that is allocated to capital investment, which is the PSRP. And that $285.5 million, which is still 23.2% above, is one offshore, which is the capital spending. A $200 million one-time offshore budget that comes from Asheda Meta bonus spending. So this means under this government, the largest ever budget ever is not driven by productivity. It's not driven by job creation. It's not driven by long-term assets. It's driven by wages and bureaucracy. Who are the benefits? The beneficiary in the entire project. The elites are very comfortable. They will be prioritized over rural reality. US $145.8 million in the budget goes to public administration. US $3.29 million go to compensation of employees. in that compensation of employees, it does not attract any support to increase in or civil servant salary. Harmonization cannot be reversed on this current budget. So civil servant will still be making minimum wage, which is extremely terrible.
You mean even with 1.2 billion, civil servants are not going to experience any increment?
No increment at all. In fact, there was a mayor who was recently crying about his salary recently, but that's the truth about it. Harmonization will not be reversed under the 1.2 billion budget, because the budget is heavily driven toward real current expenditures, salaries, specifically for elites. It's not prioritizing any rural reality. But the other aspect, Abu, that is also critical, the government arrest agenda. Agriculture received US 13.66 million under the arrest agenda. Youth and social development received 16.12 million. Small business and industry received 16.24 million. This is completely, a misplaced priority. So you obviously having a 1.2 billion budget, and this is what you're driving into the sectors that you highlighted to be critical aspect. The budget has 12, the US 12 billion, 1.2 billion dollar contain no mass public work employment program, no national SME or youth credit facility, no industrial job pipeline, no labor-intensive infrastructure strategy. The Ministry of Youth and Sport received less than US $8 million, and it's not going to be targeted to job creation. It's just going to be a symbolic allocation for salaries. Okay. Even in the health budget as well, we are receiving around US 171 billion for healthcare. Education received 123.98 million. So far, these are the largest ever, but the structure in that picture tells you something different. Most of the budget.
1 minute, just about that. Have something. When the speaker Richard Kuhn once upon a time visited JFK and promised that he was going to ensure some $29 million in the budget. Is it there? Have you seen it? I think
when the speaker said he was going to give what?
29 million for JFK.
The speaker been making a lot of promises that's not even inflated. It's not. It's far from that. Very far from that. JFK cannot get 29 million. But here's what is very interesting in the health budget, Abu. There is no new public hospital being constructed on the health budget. Most of the money on the health budget goes to salary and consumable. Capital investments are extremely minimal. Even schools that are being maintained, and schools completely are being maintained.
Wait, let me hold you right there. Even into the third year of the rescue government, you're saying there is no hope of the construction of any new hospital.
Absolutely no hope. In fact, the government knew that they cannot be able to. The government knew that they would never ever be able to honor what CDC did. So in the arrest agenda, they include no new construction of hospital in the arrest agenda. So you see what I'm saying? This is the hypocrisy.
What about schools? The finance minister promised that by October of last year, September of last year, that they will have schools. Where are we with that? What's in the budget? Any hope for?
The most important the interesting thing about the budget on education, the government is spending around 123.98 million on education. On that budget, there no new public school will be constructed on that budget. School will be maintained and they will not be expanded. The 3 budget cycle provide hundreds of millions of dollars. Abu, physical capacity remains unchanged. The maintenance and budgeting is mainly driven around salaries, increment, and support. And
so let me ask you about market buildings, marketplace, because we see city government, city police officers across the different cities beating on sellers to go to the market. Is there anything there for new market building or expansions?
Maybe they will have to manufacture it because the government is interested. They sometimes offshore budget to allotment for key areas or something. But that's the situation. That's the reason why market. But even with that, you inform the market women to go in the market. The point is, money is not circulating in the economy. Just what they did is a very clever economic policy, which is stagnate the economy to make it look static, so that price and inflation would not increase, and present a presumptive analysis that you have control over the economy. No. The lack of circulation of money in the economy means that people will not have opportunity. Then the funny aspect
are they hoarding the money or they are taking the money out of the country?
They're primarily subsidizing the money to maintain inflation. They're creating is a very economic policy where you create a stagnant engagement of monetary and fiscal infusion, and that way the inflation rate primarily looks like a static. But the interesting aspect of this is that there is skyrocketing unemployment. So people will not have access to opportunity. Money will not circulate in the economy if you obviously don't have employment spaces. So even if you have rice, you bring rice to $10, you bring rice to $5, people will not buy because they are not employed. They don't have access to funding. And that's why the women in the market today, they are the biggest opposition against this government. If you go do a video right now in the market, Abu, they will tell you that this country is hard. But here's another thing. The government is saying that they are supporting energy and infrastructure. The very energy and infrastructure they are talking about is underfunded. The energy and environment received 78.19 billion, but the Liberia Electricity Corporation funding remain largely operational. No national electricity rollout is funded. Rural and industrial power expansion is absent. So the infrastructure and basic services.
No investment in electricity expansion.
No. It's mostly operational budget that's being included here in this budget allotment for energy and infrastructure.
Sometime we have to go and take few calls. Wanto Tia Wanto has been here. So let's talk about the CDC a little bit, and then we can go to the lines. In spite of all of the pictures that you've painted, the government still believes that the CDC is not coming back. What infrastructure do you have in place to make a resounding comeback?
The government, the government is very arrogant. The government is very arrogant. So, if you create a budget and create a plan called a REST agenda where you require $8.38 billion over 5 years, yet a $1.2 billion budget depend on one-time money bonus, show declining capital projection in other years, and lack credible financing pipeline, you say cities are not coming by, it's terrible, because ordinary Liberian today, for the market women, they have no access to credit. For the young graduate today in Liberia, no job pipeline. For the farmer, no merchandization of agro-processing. Even for rural community, no hospital, no electricity, no water system. This government is extremely, it insists that this is a people-centered budget, but the people do not eat the budget, but speeches and outcomes do that. So if you set on this kind of budget, and you say cities are not coming back with the narrow electoral outcome, then you must be arrogant. You must fundamentally be extremely arrogant to think the way you are governing with the extreme level of challenges in this country, Abu, to say that an electoral process that was below the margin of 0.3 outcome, that you will still win an election in 2029. I've never seen anything more arrogant than that before. Never in my life have I seen anything arrogant. This government would be massively defeated with their governance principles. And here's what is fascinating. What CDC has to do is to create a sophisticated CDC. We must run a CDC driven on comprehensive intellectual engagement, policy interpretation, directly engaging the government failures. This 2026, we must be able to set up structures in CDC. We must reevaluate who is with us and who is against us, because politics is not static. The other thing that's also very critical, we must inspire our partisans to return home. Part of our defeat in the last electoral process, Abu, was because there were citizens who felt disenchanted by our governance principles. But then some of them realized that the Unity Party is neither better than the CDC, because we have tangible to point to. This government in the budget, for instance, did not include any single new hospital being constructed. In 6 years, we discussed a $1.2 billion budget. No hospital will be constructed under the $1.2 billion budget. No school will be constructed under the $1.2 billion budget. But under the CDC, we did construct 3 hospitals. So 3 circle of budget, the government arrest agenda plan nowhere indicated that they will be able to build new school or hospital in the arrest agenda. But CDC did that. So we are optimistic that we will be re-elected massively with the kind of governance principle that
Thank you very much. 1 hour is not actually sufficient to cover all of the areas with Wanto Tia Wanto, but let's take a couple of calls and be out of here quickly. 0776 104 104 0865 500 104 plus 231 865 500 104. It's very important to gauge the public view about these things and all that.
Good morning.
Let's take calls.
Good morning, Abu.
Morning.
Good morning to I joined the conversations from the community where our people stay fetching water from the village. They send them Moses. They require community sectors. and I'm interested in you see, all those we are God man, we are in series of scriptures. The legislature was expanded to 5 different countries, and those countries are Moon country, Majidi country, Keman country, and Benjire country. For all of that, the CLSD land, this whole land, and our substation, all the substations were built. So when I listen to other people talking about stable unity, they don't put the metal and the foundation of stable unity.
Okay, thank you very much. You've made your point. Here, guys, let's move to the next caller.
Let's talk to David King. David, morning.
Yeah, good morning, Hagar.
Go ahead, live.
Let me say morning to Wanto from my end. You know, Wanto always making mistake. We didn't build 3 hospitals. We built more than 5 hospitals under the CDC administration. We have the Emory Hospital, number 1, 14 military, number 2. We have the New Redemption, number 3. We have the hospital built in Riverside, number 4. We have the hospital built in Nima, Grand Gila.
Yeah, but the man is talking about ones that were completed. The one in Grand Gila was not completed.
Yeah, so we need to make this
okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
See the project again from us.
Okay, all right. Let's talk to you. Morning. Walk away from your radio, or I replace you with somebody else. Okay, since you're not ready, let's talk to this person. Morning.
Yes, good morning, Hagar, and good morning. Yes, thank you very much. I want to take this time to commend Wanto. Thank you very much for making us the Conde boss proud. And then to the issue that has to do with the loan. Maybe I am a living testimony of it. My wife was standing at red light when President Weah asked her to go to Omega. We were indebted to the bank, and President Weah paid that loan for us. So I am a living evidence of it. Dear Wanto, what you are saying about loan is 100% indeed correct. Thank you very much for telling you two guys that what we did, we will not do in the last 10 years.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Let's take 2 more calls.
Let's talk to you here from this side. Good morning. Let's talk to this person. Hello.
Yeah, good morning.
Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Curtis Barkley. I do join you from District 11, the most regular district in the Republic of Liberia. Let me say thank you to Brother Wanto. Because this government that came to rescue, only few people of themselves, they are rescuing themselves and our children. So we will always like to have people that want to lay down policy. Thank you for that, and thank you for the show.
Thank you very much.
Edmond Kai is next. Edmond, morning.
Thank you. Let me say good morning to our brother in the US there, Winto.
What is in the UK?
Information. I mean, in the UK, you know, we love that, and we hope that we will continue to look. If you have a budget where you're using 900,000 some cents just on recovery expenditure, that clearly suggests that nothing is in the budget for the Liberian poor. And this is the reason why even some of their own supporters call on the president the last time to record our budget and reset it so as to reflect the reality that we face with. When talking about credit facility, yes, we did do that because those who are the consumer who feel the impact. Even when COVID-19 was raging here in the world, you could find your way in the market, you could sit right in front of your porch, you could take on to them, you walk away with 5,000, 6,000. So that means that we're able to have it on local businesses, small businesses, so it made business to bloom in the country. But look at the country today. So why is that?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Edmond.
I want you listen to the calls. All the phones are ringing, of course, but time is not our best friend. When you make a return to the country, we'll have a more lengthy discourse. But how do you respond?
I want to appreciate the callers for calling. As always, our goal is not, we provide. We think I do believe, Abu, is we have a responsibility to provide clarification on these things because people don't know. People only celebrate 1.2 billion budget, but they don't know especially what's in the budget. They are celebrating officials who are inflating, opportunity for themselves. Liberia does not like playing, Abu. Liberia likes, a comprehensive people-centered budget, and a 1.2 billion budget should not leave market women without credit. It should not leave young people without comprehensive strategy for job. in rural communities without hospitals or electricity. When you have a budget that is completely towards salaries, administration, and debt, with no production, no job creation, you obviously are not transforming this country. It is a survival management, survival not only to citizens but it's to elites. So our criticism is not hatred. We believe accountability is not opposition. We believe that demanding result is not unpatriotic. It's true patriotism to insist that public money produces public good. And what Liberians are asking currently, they're not asking for miracles. They are asking for jobs instead of speeches. They are asking for projects instead of press releases, and they need system instead of symbolism. And what we're seeing here is a symbolic government, a pictorial symbolic government that print a picture that everything is perfect, and ultimately things are not perfect in this country. The last thing I would say is that this 2026, our goal is that we must be able to have a structural prepared CDC, ready to redefine the conversation, but also structurally ready to govern. Because we are prepared to govern in 2030. We are inaugurating president. We are January 2030. So there must be a lot of responsibility will come with. There are a lot of mess we will be able to inherit, and we must be prepared to tackle all the mess that this government is creating, so that from day one we'll be able to present not just a people-centered policy blueprint, but we'll present a holistic national plan that is ready to govern and change this country. Thank you.
That means a whole new CDC outlook.
Yes, a comprehensive CDC that is ready to tap onto the best aspects possible, and to ensure that we lead this country with the most patriotic agenda that is driven towards economic development, but that is also massively driven towards building a futuristic outcome for this country. And I'm 100% believing that we will be able to reach there. And I'm also very.
I want to ask you about your last meeting with the standard bearer. I believe
it was very impressive. It was very impressive, and as always, as you know me, Abu, every time I have this space,
how convinced you became about his leadership?
I'm 100% optimistic about the leadership of President Weah. Interacting with him, see that he loved this country the most. He is very patriotic about this country. We must be able to support him with the best ideas possible. But notwithstanding, Abu, just loving the country is not sufficient to win election. We must ask the best, technocrat and experts across CDC to be able to ensure that we put our hands around the president and redefine the CDC to become the best version of what we can be able to make it be.
Thank you, Wanto. We gotta go. It has been good having you, and
thank you so much
for always honoring our invitation.
Definitely, I really appreciate it, Abu. Thank you so much. This was really a great conversation, and whenever, just let me know. I'm always available.
Okay, Wanto Tia, Wanto Higa, we gotta go.
We'll be here on tomorrow to climax our partnership for this week. Until then, let's keep the peace of our country.
Bye-bye.